Hey, howdy ho, everybody! This is Postmortem Nightshade, and this weekend there's only one release, sadly, that I'll be bringing you a review for, but don't worry. On Friday, the second episode of my Movies That Didn't Live Up to the Hype series is going live, so keep an eye out for that one on the channel. But tonight, we'll be talking about Supergirl. This is the second installment in the new DC universe headed by James Gunn. However, this film wasn't directed by James Gunn like last year's Superman. This one was actually directed by Craig Gillespie, who is best known for his work on I, Tonya and Cruella. Our Supergirl is played by Millie Alcock, and let me just say that she was great casting for this role. She was delightful, and she just brought so much charm, charisma, and likability to a character that very could have easily fallen into the unlikable protagonist category. And even though he isn't in this film much, David Cornswet is truly an amazing cast as Superman. This movie just cemented that even more for me, and he is very on point actually to how I imagined a live action Superman to be. Rounding out the cast, we have Matthias Schwartz. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Apologies if I mispronounced that. Who plays the villain? Jason Momoa is Lobo the Mercenary, and Eve Ridley plays a young woman who tags along with Supergirl hoping to get revenge. For starters, as I mentioned, Millie Alcock is great as Supergirl, but Jason Momoa, with what little screen time we did see from him, does a spot-on job as Lobo, who is personally one of my favorite DC characters. Matthias Schornertz, apologies again if I got that wrong, gives it his best as the villain, but the story doesn't really allow him to be anything more than, any other base level superhero villain you've seen before or could imagine. And the script is even more unfavorable towards Eve Ridley's character, unfortunately, who just comes across as the most generic and bland side character I've seen in a while. The soundtrack, though, is super fun, and it lends itself really well to this version of Supergirl. I just wish they had leaned into this world's punk rock aesthetic a little more, because at times it shines through great, and then at other points we slide into this bland and generic big budget CGI fest that we just see in way too many films these days. That being said, the cinematography is pretty standard in this film, although there are some pretty cool superhero shots, and the color grading is way too all over the place to be what I'd consider solid. I'm also not sure why we keep doing this with so many films lately, but this movie runs at basically 2 hours, and boy, can you feel it! The pacing at several points drags out, and it leaves the narrative feeling all over the place, even though the runtime gives it more than enough room to breathe. The theming and ideas central to the story have been done to death, and this movie doesn't bring anything new to those concepts, so we're just treading old and tired ground a bunch throughout this film. I think somewhere underneath what we got with Supergirl is a more polished and actually great film, but as it stands, what we got was just decent, unfortunately. I definitely haven't lost hope for this new DC universe, but here's hoping that the next film is more in line with James Gunn's Superman rather than Supergirl. So, on my scale, this film sits at the top of the Hey Heidi Okay category. But I did have a fun enough time with this one, so I think it is definitely worth checking out on your theater's bargain day. But let me know in the comments, what did you think of Supergirl? Are you liking the new DC universe? And what would you like to see moving forward from DC? Thank you everyone so much for tuning in, and if you'd like to follow along on my movie review journey, please like and subscribe, and I will see y'all very soon.